In this video, I show you some awesome terrain from Terrainify. But before we get into today's video, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. You guys make this channel what it is, and I appreciate it so much. Also want to share with you the picks for the GGGGs for last month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this past month of September of 2022, Brian V received the Painted City of Absalom Pathfinder Terrain Set. Barry T received the Abomination Vaults. And Daniel W received the Dwarven Mines. And Steve M was chosen to receive $100 to go towards the crowdfunder of his choice, Idols of Torment or Snake Maze. For this month of October of 2022, the GGGGs are $50 credit to go towards LV427, STL Terrain Files, the Kickstarter version of Etherfields, the board game from Awaken Realms, $100 to go towards the crowdfunder, which the Patreon supporters are currently voting upon, and some of this terrain from Terrainify that I have printed and am going to unbox, and also three $50 credits to go towards their store. Also wanted to share with you the 25% discount for your first order from Terrainify that is available for all of my viewers. Go ahead and use this promo code below in order to get that discount. If you're interested in getting in on the GGGGs, go ahead and use the link below to go to my Patreon page where you can find out more information. So Heidi from Terrainify did reach out to me and asked if I would be willing to do a review video of their terrain. And I was more than happy to, because this is one of the few circumstances where they're not only selling the STL files for those of us who do have 3D printers, but also the already printed and painted sets for you to be able to use right away for your tabletop gaming. And I do know that a number of you still have not invested or jumped into the 3D printing hobby, and that's perfectly fine, because this is, I think, one of the options that you're going to have to buy pre-painted, pre-flocked terrain that's going to look awesome on your board. This video is broken up into a couple different sections. I'm going to start off just with unboxing and seeing what samples that they sent us. And from there, we'll see which one of those will be available as gratitude gifts. Then we're going to go ahead and go over to the computer, and I'm going to walk you through their web store and their website so that you can see all of the different options as well as pricing information. Again, you can use the code to get 25% off of your first order, but that will give you a general sense of what kind of quality you're going to get from this terrain and possibly how you might be able to use it for your gaming. I did already print out this set, and I wanted to have this be the first available set that we're going to be grouping together as one of the gratitude gifts. So one of you will be able to use this ruined set. I just love this statue head rune, which I think looks just so awesome. So this is just one of the sets that is going to be one of the gratitude gifts. So Terrainify was started back in 2016 by John, who is an avid gamer himself. So he knows what it is that we are looking for as gamers. And they did produce all of their own original design. And one of the unique things I think about this company is that they do offer painting services that not only include painting that you see right here, but also flocking, which makes their terrain really realistic, and so will go well with any board. So they do have three different levels of offerings, which is selling just the STL file. So obviously that's going to be the cheapest because they're just delivering the digital file to you for you to print. Or they offer to print the piece for you. Again, if you don't have a 3D printer, that's a great option. But you'll be able to save some money because it will come to you only as a 3D print, and it's up to you to put it together, to paint it, and to flock it yourself. And then finally, the most upgraded version, which is printed out and painted and flocked for you. So that takes any of the work out of it. So if you don't have any of the painting supplies or flocking or anything else like that, that's going to be the option for you. Also, the thing to note is that you can pick and choose what kind of style or theme, not only the painting colors. As you can see here, I chose to paint all of this the traditional gray stone, but you can also get this in different colors of your choice. For example, if you wanted red clay, or if you wanted more of a desert theme, sort of a tan color, you can choose and make personalized requests as well as different colored flocking or themes. Again, sort of a desert theme or sort of a hills theme, whatever you want to do, you can sort of make a request and they can make it happen. So if you don't even see it on the website, you can make a special request and they're able to flex and be able to modify any of their themes. And that's one of the things I did, was I requested sort of these flat hills with a different theme than what I saw on their website, and they did send that, so hopefully we'll be able to see the results of my custom order as well. They have 10 terrain sets, as well as 8 basic color themes and 22 deluxe color themes. So you can mix and match whatever way that you want. It does take them at least 3 weeks to be able to print out and paint up these pieces for you. So just make sure that you allow for enough production time for them to get that to you, especially if you're getting ready for a tournament or something like that. So let's go ahead and unbox and see what sample pieces that they've sent us. Right, the first piece here looks like we're going to have to assemble some of the steps. And this was the Step Till E medium. Man, my goodness, this is huge. Yeah, this is a pretty big piece. Looks like they will glue together really well. Those seam lines can easily be covered up with either some filler, caulking, what have you, or if you're going to be sprinkling on any ballast or any sand on top of that, you can cover that up pretty easily. But yeah, this is a really big piece. Wow, look at that. So this is the first finished piece, and it's really well painted. The flock on there is appropriately glued on or varnished on so that it's not falling off or flaking off. You have these tufts that just add a little bit more character to it all, and they painted this rock part with almost like a tan-like color. So overall, I think that looks really nice. A lot of great texture that's on there. Let's do the miniature standing test. Make sure that miniatures can actually stand on the thing. So these two are metal miniatures, so they're going to be heavier and have a hard time if they do slip off and fall. But as you can see here, even though this is at an angle, that they can still stand on these pretty easily. Ooh, look at this one. This is more of a desert theme, so you have the less foliage on there, lighter colors. Looks like this was printed. Oh, this is the Dungeon Hills outcroppings with the sandstone theme. Oh, that's great. Did they label this one? Oh yeah. So all of these are labeled with which ones they are. So this looks really cool. It does look like they did top this with some sand, because you can tell this is the printed section here, and then this is a section where they put sand additionally on top of it. So that looks really cool. Let's see, can the plastic guy can stand on there, but I think the metal ones would fall over because they're too heavy. Oh, I guess that's not the case. The metal guys are able to stand. Yeah, a little bit more careful on this steeper incline, but you can set them on there if you want. Obviously these sections are no problem here that are flat. Hey, take a look at this piece. I did also print out this piece myself, but adding that flocking on there just adds a lot to it. So that looks awesome, and again, it's affixed on there really well. Sometimes when I do flocking, I find that it falls off really easily, but that's on there pretty solidly. So it's not really rubbing off, which is great. Whoa, look at that. That looks so cool. So this is the desert or sandstone theme, but then with the grass on top. And this looks like it was printed out in 3 pieces, glued together, stepped hills with the wild theme. I think that looks awesome. Look at that. That's fantastic. Okay, this is the Step Till D. Man, that looks so good. And the reason why I asked for this set is because it is relatively flat. So you're able to just put models all over it. And there isn't any spot where they're going to fall over. So that's why I picked these. I asked them to send me these because in terms of a practical game piece where you're able to put models on top, this works perfectly. I think I've seen that this is typically painted possibly as a volcano theme, where it's primarily black with red and yellows in them. But I really like this theme a lot. So I think this is the Hill E. Yes. So this is the painted version of this one down here that I opened up first. So look how awesome that looks. So that was the last of it. I'm going to go ahead and set it up on my board. Alright, so you're going to see a comparison between the ones that were printed as is, where this upper section where you can see this this border here, this was printed flat and then glued together. And as I said before, with 3D printing, you're going to have a lot of artifacts when you're printing that final layer on top, whereas the vertical layer is actually more smooth, and you can see that difference between this lower section, which was printed upright, and then this one, which was printed flat. So that's somewhat the difference that you're going to see between the top portion and the lower portion versus this piece here, which I printed out all vertical. So you're not getting some of the same artifacts that are on top here. Some of those contour lines that are similar to the contour lines of a hill or something. This is much smoother right here. Now, it's actually less noticeable than I thought it was going to be. So when it's on the tabletop, actually, I don't know if anyone really is going to notice that much. But if that's going to be something that bothers you, I do suggest go ahead and just modify your file so that the whole thing does print upright like this. And here's the size difference between the large and the smaller one. And the difference isn't that big, but it all depends. Of course, you can scale these to whatever size you want anyway, but it is nice that they're offering two different sizes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the corner piece and see how much of a difference that you can see here. Again, this is the normal piece that was printed in 3 different sections. You do see more of a seam along the edge right across the top here because you are gluing those pieces together, versus here when you do modify the files in 3D Builder, there is no noticeable seam and there is more consistency again. But is it enough that I'm suggesting that you do it this way where you modify the file? No, again, not really. I don't think you notice a whole lot. Now on here, on a file like this where most of the print is actually extended out like this, because this piece here printed flat on the build plate of the printer this way, so it's printing up like this. I actually think that that's not too bad, because as you can see across the top here, that looks pretty good. Over here, that looks pretty good. This is the spot where really you're getting the worst of that 3D print angle. So on this piece, I don't think it's that bad, because along the face here, you're seeing the rougher edges and contouring along with the side here, because these two pieces are glued together like this. I don't think, again, it's that bad, so it all depends on the piece that you're printing out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the statue head here. I think this turned out great. I was a little bit worried that it was going to need some supports, and there is a little bit of drooping here of the filament, again, right over here as well. But it was not nearly as bad as I thought it might be, and I don't really think you need to add supports to this. Now, if you do print this out as one piece, you definitely need to provide a support here, and as you can see here, there are some support roughness right there. And obviously, if you're going to print as is, you don't need any supports at all. So it sort of all depends how you want to print these things out. But at the end of the day, even though there's a seam line here, and you can see seam lines where you're gluing these top pieces on like this, it's not nearly as bad and obvious as I thought it was going to be, because the paint really covers those things up, and from tabletop height, I don't think it's really going to matter. Alright, so check it out. Look at how awesome this looks on the tabletop. This is a 4 foot by 4 foot And this mat is from Table War, but I do know that Terrainify also has a dozen map PDFs for you to be able to print out your mat if you wanted to do so. But look how well it integrates. I mean, this terrain is perfect for this mat. Just to have grassy field and hills and plains. So any kind of gaming scenario, whether it is RPGs or tabletop wargaming, you can just use this terrain just to be able to have some awesome battles. It makes me want to get sort of different color themes, even an entire desert theme with an appropriate mat as well, to be able to field out that terrain set. And look how cool it is, juxtaposing some of these colors with the darker gray too. So I think all of it looks really well together. This color theme works too right here, as you can see, this sort of hilly knoll. And then again, I just love this statue head and how incredibly detailed that is. And I just can't believe how large these hills are. I do think that they come in 3 different sizes as an STL file, so if you're going to print them out yourself, I think there's a small, medium, and large, and I think this is scaled as the medium, which to me is still they're huge and taking up so much of the table space, which I think is awesome. I know a number of you have kickstarted the Blackmagic Crafts current Kickstarter, or probably over by the time I post this video. I can't remember the name right now, but this terrain would work perfectly with that game, in addition to either Frostgrave or Stargrave, even sci-fi you would be able to use this game for. And if you're a tabletop gamer, you know completely how to be able to use this terrain. So let's go ahead and sort through what the gratitude gifts are going to be for my Patreon supporters. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to lump together these pieces right here, these 2 hills, to be one giveaway, and then all of this terrain, all of the ruins here are going to be another. So these 5 pieces are all going to be grouped together. So one lucky Patreon supporter that Bob is going to choose is going to receive all of these ruins. And I'm going to keep this in 2 pieces just so that it will ship, and you will need to glue that together yourself. And then another Patreon supporter will be receiving these 2 hills. And I am keeping everything else because I think it looks so good with this playing mat. Additionally, there will be 3 $50 credits towards their store. So make sure you check that out on my Patreon page. So let's go ahead and go over to Terrainify's website so that you can see all the different options. All right, let's go ahead and check out their website. So use the links below in the descriptions to go to all of these links. So this is their primary website, and this is where you can find all of their products. They also do have an Etsy store, and also can order all of their products here as well. And most of these are going to be the printed and painted sets and options. So feel free to peruse that website too. So let's go ahead and check out their various products. So again, you can purchase just the STLs if you want. And obviously this is going to be the cheapest option and the most economical. I always tell people that if you plan on purchasing a lot of terrain, just go ahead and buy a 3D printer and look at the other videos that I have on my YouTube channel playlist, because that's where I give recommendations regarding different printers. But for a couple of $100, you're able to buy an Ender 3 clone. I prefer to have auto bed leveling, and that's going to be printers that are more expensive than that. But for a couple of $100, you can get started into the hobby, and it is a hobby, a separate hobby, so make sure that you take that into consideration, that it's going to take time to learn how to set up your machines. But look at all of these various ones. So they're going to range in price from about $5. You know, here we have a $10 for the large stepped hill too. And all of these files are going to be available for immediate download after you purchase them. So there isn't a time gap between purchasing and being able to download and getting printed right away. So let's go ahead and check out instead their printed and painted models. Now obviously you can buy these just printed without being painted, and that's going to be cheaper. But because they're doing all of the work, obviously the prices are going to be much higher. So it looks like this is generally a catalog of what is available, but in order to purchase, you do have to go to their Etsy store in order to handle all payments. So this is where you can see all of the bundles. And overall, these prices that you're seeing here is typical for what you're going to find for pre-painted terrain on your tabletop. And this is why, in general, I do encourage folks to purchase their own 3D printers and to paint up and finish all of their pieces, because you're going to save a ton of money. Now, it is going to take effort. And so if you're flush on cash and not in terms of time, so getting these is the way to go. Or if you're only going to purchase a couple of pieces. So for example, if you're going to get this set and nothing more, then it is more economical to go ahead and just buy this for $85, because you're investing a couple of $100, as well as a significant amount of time in learning how to use a 3D printer. Again, that is a hobby unto itself. Here are the steps where they are painted up to be more like lava, which I think looks incredible. But I did want to have the option for mine to be more fitting with my playmat, which is more of the grassy area. But check out all of the different styles that you are able to get, even tundra and snow, which I think is really awesome. These are the different paint schemes and colors that you can have. So there's just so much variety, like I was saying. People are really happy with their purchases through them. And look how different this color scheme is. Really bright. Maybe it's on an Eldar planet or something like that. So you are able to just sort through by category. So feel free to look at all of these. Here are their gaming mats, again available in different sizes that you are able to print out. And they are constantly coming out with new designs and files, so make sure to check that out. Check out their website for their new releases as they come along. Check out their gallery, just pictures of different sets that they have. Again, you can peruse these on your own, but I think it just looks amazing. And then this is the different colored themes that you can go through and basically pick and choose which ones you want. And here's the different stone colors that you can have. And you can even use this as inspiration. Now, here's one of the things that I really like about their website, which is when you come up here, you go to the Learn section, and they have a bunch of tutorials. And this is the reason why I didn't include a painting tutorial with mine, because all of these are really excellent tutorials about not only how to paint, but also how to do all of the flocking. So this is a wonderful resource that will show you all of the things that you need in order to paint up everything. And when I painted up my Ruin set, it was super fast and easy to do. If you've seen any of my other painting tutorials, you know that the method that I employ is relatively fast and quick.
Well, this layer is still
what
wet.
I'm finding really helpful is not only the painting tutorial that they have, but also how to put the flocking on, which is something that I haven't done in the past, because for the most part I found that the flocking just gets everywhere. But I'm going to try the method that they use, because the pieces that they sent to me, the flocking definitely is staying on and is not coming off, and it looks like that they're putting on a coating of just PVA glue mixed with water, and that seems to work to fix everything down in place.
And that's it.
So use all of these tutorials. That they have tons of them. It shows you how to paint in different colors and styles. So if you're either printing them out yourself, or you are getting just the unpainted 3D printed version from them, these are ways that you can save money. But also paint them up yourself.
Please like and
they also have some FAQs that you can access if you do have any questions. But I found them to be super responsive. So if you do have any questions or thoughts, or if you want to customize your pieces with different themes or colors, definitely go ahead and feel free to shoot them an email through their contact page, and they are pretty good at getting back to you. They also have a presence with Facebook, as well as Instagram and other social media. So make sure to check that out. Join their group here, and you can see just different releases that they have moving forward. Yeah, the great thing about them is that this company is located in Omaha, Nebraska, and all of these are made in-house with their folks printing, painting, and delivering from the United States. So there you have it. That's a good rundown. Hopefully you're able to see all of the different offerings that Terrainify has for you as a tabletop gamer. And I am really impressed with the quality of these prints and how it looks on the table. As a reminder, go ahead and use this code for all of my viewers. That will get you 25% off your first order from Terrainify. Also use the link below to go to my Patreon page if you want to have the chance to be chosen by Bob to receive some of these sets that are going to be gratitude gifts. Thanks again to Terrainify for providing all of this awesome terrain and for these discounts. So happy printing, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.